Welcome to Restoring Education in America with Priscilla Rahn. She's a master educator and author, leading the conversation to restore the American mind through wisdom, virtue, and truth.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Restoring Education in America. I'm your host, Priscilla Rahn, and I am so excited that you've decided to join the conversation. You know, if you've been paying attention to what's going on in public schools, then you know you probably should look at different options. One of the options this fall is a new private classical school that's opening in Centennial. It's called Excalibur Classical Academy, and their mission and vision is restoring America's heritage by developing servant leaders who are keepers and defenders of the principles of freedom for which our founding fathers pledged their lives, fortunes, and sacred honor. It's really critical that we raise up the next generation who learns how to love our country, who understands the Constitution, and who can walk in their freedom. So please go to their website. Right now, they are talking with parents, giving tours and information sessions. Their website is excaliburclassicalacademy.org. Well, I'm really excited to bring this next guest onto the stage. I've been trying to get her. She's amazing. She's a mover and shaker, and I am not going to delay any longer. I'm welcoming to the stage my sister, Linda B. Hey, Linda.
Thank you so much, Priscilla, for having me. This is truly an honor. Really, it is.
It's an honor to have you because you've been such a mentor from the moment I met you. I've just been in awe of you, and we've been trying to sync our schedules. And so I am going to milk this time with you for all that I can, because I'm loving your podcast, and I'm loving your mentorship. Every now and again, you send me a text and you're like, try doing this. And I just appreciate it.
When I see you, I'm just like, she needs more views.
Well, I tell you what, before we get too far into the conversation, I'm going to share a little bit of your bio with our listeners. So Linda B is a content creator and has a show on YouTube entitled Chat with Me, Linda B. Her show discusses politics and religion from a Christian perspective. She combines her raw, unfiltered truth and personality to serious topics that affect our world today. She's a screenwriter and independent filmmaker with her latest project, a 1-hour political drama called Liz Town, which is in pre-production. But your most important job is wife and mom and doggy mom.
Yes, I'm also doggy mom.
So, Ms. Linda B, you've been really busy with your film. Tell me a little bit about your film.
Well, it's a TV show, and it's called Liz Town. And of course, it's a political drama. That's my world that I live in. And it is centered around the life of Liz. She is the first female mayor of this southern town. She has a horrible secret she's been hiding, and she has an unknown political enemy that is psychologically manipulating her throughout the entire show. And as it unfolds, it's going to be like a series that hopefully will get picked up for like a few seasons. It unfolds, and there's a lot of mystery and suspense. It's gritty, but it's family friendly. All right. You don't have to worry about, the woke stuff. It's like, the stuff that they try to shove down. So we don't want to see that stuff. It won't be in my show.
I've watched a little bit of your trailer, and it was amazing. And you're such an amazing actress. Because, I'm just going to be honest. Sometimes I see friends, or they'll send me a film that they're in or acting, and I'm like, you don't want to crush their dreams, but you're like legit a great actress. And I was like, oh my gosh, her character, I didn't know, like, you have all these layers to you. So I'm like, when do I get to see this? So,
I know we're working on it, honey. It's a money thing. So right now we're trying to get the money in place, and with hopes of getting it in production in a year.
Okay. So are you crowdfunding? Like, how are you getting?
Always. I'm doing donations through this. It's like a 501c3. It's called From the Heart Productions. And I've got two ways. I've also been doing it through Good Works, where I sent you the link, I believe, that you voted on. And right now I reached the 1,000 vote threshold. So now it automatically sends it to a committee. So they're going to decide if they want to pick it up and help me with it. So it's eventually going to crowdfunding as well. So
okay.
So a lot of different avenues.
Yeah, so we'll look for that, and you can count on a donation from me because I want to see. I'm like, what a teaser. That wasn't fair. Okay. um so Miss Linda B, your show blends politics,
Yeah.
faith, culture. So what motivated you to speak out and create your podcast?
It was interesting because actually the Chat with Me, Linda B channel began in 2022, but it was strictly religious. But I don't know, I didn't keep it up. I just stopped doing it. And then when I had this revelation about what was really going on politically, then I said, you know what? And then I was watching this podcaster. His name is LFR Family. His name is Van Jones. And he said he was doing like a coaching class to get people who want to do a podcast. He would help them do it. And for some reason, I just was like, I want to do it. So I did it, and we met together in a group and watched a little bit of each other's videos and critiqued, gave constructive criticism to try and help us do better and grow. And that's how I got into it. And I've been very consistent doing multiple videos a day.
Yes, I remember when we were talking. Okay. For people who don't realize, you are daily, very consistent, very committed. And you were encouraging me, and there were some other podcasters encouraging me. It's like, Priscilla, 30 minutes, you can do it yourself. You don't have to have a guest every day. And I'm like, I'm intimidated. I would have to listen to myself talk for a half hour every day. And so I've kind of stayed in my comfort zone right now. And I've had a few shows where it's just me. And I mean, I think it takes me an hour just to do a 28-minute show because I'm like looking at myself saying, you don't sound very good, but you have such an abundance mentality and such a generous mentor, godly spirit of a Christian woman, because you have never hesitated from the moment I met you just to be so supportive and generous with your information. And talk a little bit like, why do you think that's important in this day and age for us to be that way?
As conservatives, Christian conservatives, we know that we get a lot of pushback. Okay. Especially when you have any melanin in your skin, they want you to think a certain way. And so we have like an uphill battle in a way, even with close friends and family members. And I just feel like, you know what, I want to be as supportive as I can, because we're not going to automatically get that support. We're just not going to get it. So we need to have some kind of support system in place to encourage each other, push each other, just give each other like little tips or things that we can do to improve our numbers. Because the message that I give on my channel and what you give is super important. It's so important. People need to know that they have educational options, that they have political options, that we don't have to just go along with the status quo.
Yes, ma'am. Well, if you're just tuning in, my special guest today is Miss Linda B from Chat with Me, Linda B. Make sure you find her on YouTube. For those people who are watching this encore, you can finish watching this and go like and subscribe. Like, that's the thing we need to do. Like, subscribe, follow, comment, share, all the things. Okay?
All the things, and watch the video to the end.
You watch the video to the end, right? And I will tell you, Linda's content is so relevant and so current and so fun to watch. I get sometimes, if you're not careful, I could lose it if I'm in the middle of doing something like getting ready in the morning, and I see like one of your shorts, and then I'm like, stop, pause, and then I try to go back. I'm like, where did it go? And then I have to go. So I tell people, like, follow Linda B because she's amazing. All right, let's get into some hot topics today. Okay, what do we want to talk about? We've got
so much.
There's so much. Okay, so Jasmine Crockett lost her primary.
Yes,
but okay, so here, she could have had it all. She started out beautiful, articulate, smart, right? Had all the things, private education, lawyer. She gets to Congress, and then all of a sudden she turns ratchety.
On.
But wait, I want to play a clip of the guy who beat her, because this is dangerous. This is James Talarico. Hold on.
Yeah.
The first two lines of the Bible, the first two lines in Genesis, use two different Hebrew words to describe God. One is the masculine Hebrew noun for divinity. The second is the feminine Hebrew noun for spirit. God is both masculine and feminine and everything in between. God is non-binary. In Genesis 1:26, God speaks of God's self in the plural, saying, "Let us make human beings in our image to be like us." That's the infinite multitude of God, the masculine, the feminine, and everything in between. Trans children are God's children, made in God's own image.
Linda.
Wow. Wow. I did a video on him. I don't know if you got a chance to see it, but I called it, is he the Democrats' like prophet, like the Dem prophet? So these are my thoughts. Okay, so the Democrats have long been infiltrating churches, okay, as well as seminaries. And so when people, men and women, want to become ministers, they're already being indoctrinated at the seminaries. This particular man, James Talarico, attended the I think it's the Austin Theological Seminary in Austin, Texas. He attends a Presbyterian church in downtown Austin, and he sometimes preaches. And when you look up, now there are very far radical wings of the Presbyterian church. Not all of them are like this, but he's clearly part of the far radical left part. They will allow the part that's radical, that is, they will allow their ministers to perform same-sex marriage ceremonies. They will. And he's talking about God is non-binary and all of the things. And I believe that the Democrats have come up with another plan to try and hoodwink the faith so much and rebrand Christianity so much that people will think that this is the true Christianity. And so that they will go along with it. It's not Christianity. It's Satanism with a Christian
he's wrong
on it.
Okay, but Linda, he's wrong when he says that God is both masculine and feminine. Because he referred to the word. Okay, so I had to I didn't go to seminary, but I had to do some homework on myself because I want to study to show myself approved.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked up the word God in Hebrew. We all know it is Elohim, right?
Mm-hmm.
He says twice in the first part, in the beginning, God, that's Elohim. And then the second part was God, Elohim, same word. But what he's saying is the spirit was feminine. Okay, so then I start going, the teacher in me is like, okay, the word in Spanish for spirit is espíritu, which is masculine. Okay, but then the word la mano, which means hand, is feminine, but we know your hand is not feminine. So what he's conflating is a word to be associated with his character. But we know, pray like this: our Father who's in heaven, okay? Our God is the King of all the earth. Sing praises with a psalm. That's from Psalms. In Isaiah, as a bridegroom rejoices over his bride, so shall your God rejoice over you. And we are the bride of Christ. So God is very much a father and masculine.
Father, masculine, all of that. All of the angels that were sent out in the Bible, they were men. When they were allowed themselves to be seen, they would always be presented as a man in flashing white clothes with a golden sash. I mean, big, strong, tall men. So it is masculine. Okay. God the Father, Jesus the Son. I mean, come on. It is masculine. It is just part of the agenda that on the left, they want to push off into everything, whether it's religious institutions, educational. And, that's why a lot of people want to switch up from the public school system to maybe Christian, institutions, or maybe even homeschool. A lot of people are just like, you know what? We're just doing the homeschool thing. We're just not doing this right now. And that's part of their agenda. And ultimately, in my opinion, it is meant to drive us away from God, because a true relationship with God means that you cannot be controlled. And ultimately, what the left wants to do is to control us. They want to divide us up by skin color. They want to do that because, they're always bringing up racism on the left. Yeah, they just bring it up. I always tease on my channel. I say, if racism is on the floor dying, about to take his last breath, a Democrat politician is going to run over and perform CPR. They're just going to try and revive it. Live.
Well, before we go into our next topic, I want to add on to what you said when you said God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. And he's saying, when God said, let us make man in our image. And he's saying that's trans. Like, that is really, really scary, demonic preaching. And so people need to guard their heart against this type of teaching, because God said he made man and he made woman, and that is it. So that is it. Okay, sis. So let's go on. Let's talking about God and God, the creator, in our Declaration of Independence, where it talks about our inalienable rights. And a lot of our young people in school are not really learning that those rights that we have come from God. They don't come from the government. But wouldn't you know, in the Colorado State Legislature this week, a legislature decided that's not important. Take a listen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now, this is Representative Kenny Nguyen. His parents escaped Vietnam and came to America. He was born in America. Clearly, he hates God. He's a self-proclaimed atheist. And I lit him up. I called his office and emailed him. And I said, my father fought in Vietnam. You dishonored your parents. You dishonored my father. You disgraced us. By doing that, you clearly don't understand. For me, this goes beyond just freedom of religion, Linda. It's about acknowledging our Constitution, our rights. Everything that establishes our nation is acknowledging where our rights and freedoms come from. What's your reaction to this?
It's just another example to me of where the far radical left Marxists want to take us. He's a Democrat, of course. So that doesn't surprise me at all. This is where they want to take us. Either they want to redefine God, as with James Talarico, just redefine and make a God in their own image, or they just want to leave God out of everything. And I believe it was the Democrat Party that also took prayer out of schools in 1962. Right now, there are some Democrat politicians that also want Satan clubs for after-school programs. All right, so it doesn't surprise me. This is part of what they're doing to try to have a more controlled people with a satanic atheistic worldview, or maybe some warped view of the true biblical Christianity. And again, it is all centered on control. You can't really control a person who is rooted and grounded biblically in the Word of God. It's just hard to control that person. And that is where they're finding a little animus. They're just having anxiety over it. It's like, how can we control these Christians? So at some point, and I hate to say it, but at some point, eventually, I don't know when that will be, but they're going to try and force us to deny our faith. And we're going to have to, just like those of us who did not want to get the jabby jab back a few years ago. You got to stand flat-footed on what you believe. You got to be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might, and pray frequently and get close to him. Fast, get a support group. We have got to stand, because at some point, if we can't even speak now on these things, what's going to happen when it really gets hard? We have to think about that.
You're bringing up a great point, and you started out with a really relevant point about in the Black community and as Christians, how we need to stand for biblical truths. And Jesse Jackson passed away, and there was a couple of days of memorials, and his son made a request. the family made a request. Did you hear about this?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And so for my listeners who maybe have not heard what the request was, I'm going to play a before and after of what the Jackson family had requested.
Do not bring your politics out of respect to Reverend Jesse Jackson and the life that he lived to these homegoing services. Right. Come respectful and come to say thank you. But these homegoing services are welcome to all, Democrat, Republican, liberal, and conservative, right wing, left wing, because his life is broad enough to cover the full spectrum of what it means to be an American. We only ask people to come and be respectful in the context of the extraordinary life that he lived.
Yesterday, I listened for several hours of 3 United States presidents who do not know Jesse Jackson. He maintained a tense relationship with the political order, not because the presidents were white or black, but the demands of our message, the demands of speaking for the least of these, those who were disinherited, the damned, the dispossessed, the disrespected, demanded not Democratic or Republican solutions, but demanded a consistent, prophetic voice.
So, Linda, break it down.
Okay, so at first, when I saw this, I was like, that's typical of these demon rats. That's what I call them on my channel. Typical that they would be disrespectful and not listen. But upon further reflection, I'm thinking, wow, why did they invite people that did not know his father? I know he was in politics, and Jesse Jackson ran for president twice. Donald Trump, our current president, donated to those presidential campaigns. So Jesse Jackson Jr. said that these former presidents did not know Jesse Jackson. And then I said to myself, I know who did know him. That was Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
They were close.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he has helped President Donald Trump has helped Jesse Jackson so much with renting space for his Rainbow Coalition, not charging him anything for the office space, money, like I said, for both presidential runs, befriended him, giving him whatever help he needed, and he was not there. So I'm looking at the family like, did you invite him and he just turned it down, or what happened? The person that did know him was not there. Mm-hmm. That I can attest. Donald Trump knew Jesse Jackson, the late Jesse Jackson, way more than those other 3 combined. There's a long history there.
Yeah, but it's just so disrespectful and dishonoring to the memory of a family who,
It is.
They were really, really clear. Just come and be grateful. Let's celebrate the life. And they just couldn't help themselves but be political. And there's just no limit to where there's no safe space, right? For where you can go to just honor the wishes, the last wishes of a family.
I agree that their wishes should have been met. They should have gotten what they wanted and what they respectfully asked for. And then, of course, to have the son have to come right out and say, you guys did not do what I asked. We were disrespected. He did say it was open to everyone from the left and the right, but then why was Donald Trump not there? So yeah,
what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that kid who's valedictorian and they write the speech, but it's not the speech they actually end up saying when they have the microphone, right? Okay. Like they could have been vetted, and then, they get up there and they say, well, I have the microphone now. I'm going to just say whatever, take this opportunity because I know it's going to get clicks and people are going to see it. We just got to make jabs. President Trump, like any leader, we know the Bible says that God raises up leaders. And there are a lot of people in the Christian faith who could stand to do more prayer for our leaders instead of criticizing, because we have Christians who are Democrats. So we need to do a better job of being consistent in the critique that we have for our president, but then also making sure that we're following some of the laws. Like, let's see what Miss Hillary Clinton had to say
in 2012, where Hillary is more MAGA than Trump. The way she frames things is so hardcore right-wing, she sounds to the right of Marjorie Taylor Greene.
And he wasn't.
I think we got to have tough conditions. Tell people to come out of the shadows. If they've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked. They're gone. If they...
Cheers. Cheers from the Democrats.
If they've been working and are law-abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes. And you have to try to learn English. And you have to wait in line.
Because everybody's cheering.
Yeah, they love it. They love it.
Linda, we only have a few minutes left. I have a question for you. Do you have an ID?
Oh, yes.
Did you change your last name when you got married?
Yes.
And did you vote in the last election?
Yes, I did.
Your husband was so nice to let you do that. So what's your message to the Senate right now? They're, trying to decide whether or not they're going to vote for the SAVE Act.
Again, it's all about discrediting any and everything that President Donald John Trump does. Because at the end of the day, these Democrats do not have any good policies. And they're trying to make this out of a race thing, said it's going to disenfranchise, because they got to bring up racism, right? I mean, any chance they get, they got to bring it up. They know that it's really not going to disenfranchise anyone, because if you read it, it literally says it's for registration and re-registration, that you have to provide your, like a photo ID and an additional piece of information, whether that is a birth certificate or a passport. They want to harp on the passport part, because it's true, a lot of people don't have passports and they'll sling the birth certificate in there on the end. But it is so easy to get a certified copy of your birth certificate. You can go to the county clerk's office where you live, go in person, and pay anywhere from $10 to $35 to get it. It's not a problem. And if you change your name, if you're married, getting married or whatever, or you got married, all you got to do is just, and this is again, if you're, all you got to do is bring in your driver's license photo ID, and then you got to bring in your marriage certificate. You got to bring in your marriage certificate to show that your name has changed. So it is not as hard as they're trying to make it out to be. And then I looked up that for people that are on government assistance, they have to also prove citizenship in order to get government assistance. So is there, no one was harping and complaining about that. But clearly this is political, so you have to demonize everything the president does to make it seem like he's the big boogeyman, racist or whatever, because that's the only thing they have at this point. So no, it's not hard. It's really not hard.
Well, with that, Miss Linda B, I'm looking at the time. We have to land our plane. And I want everybody to go to YouTube, follow, like, subscribe, Miss Linda B on Chat with Me, Linda B. To my listeners, thanks for tuning in. Catch me next time. And remember that educating the mind without the heart is no education. So seek wisdom, cultivate virtue, and speak truth.
Thanks for tuning in to Restoring Education in America with Priscilla Rahn. Visit PriscillaRahn.com to connect or learn how you can sponsor future episodes to keep this message of faith, freedom, and education on the air.